My name is Kate Carlson, and I was lucky enough to be born and raised along the shores of the beautiful South Lake Tahoe, California. Similar to Lake Tahoe itself, my heritage lies in the lumber industry. My grandfather owned and operated a lumber yard in South Dakota, and my father worked in the timber industry until he left for college to become a pharmacist. Lake Tahoe has a very rich environmental history, especially when it comes to logging and urban development. Lake Tahoe was discovered by John C. Fremont in 1844, although the harsh winters made it quite unappealing for a permanent homestead. That is until 1860, when the Comstock Globe was struck in Virginia City. Lumbermen would cut and process the timber in Lake Tahoe and then ship it via flume or railroad to Virginia City. Although extremely profitable, the clear-cutting practices severely damaged Lake Tahoe's ecosystem. With over 80% of Lake Tahoe's forest clear-cut, soil stability and water clarity were affected. The mass deforestation promoted the first 136,000 acres of park within Lake Tahoe, which was adamantly opposed by lumbermen. In 1905, the Forest Service was created, and by 1920, they owned over 25% of the available land. Currently, the federal government owns 77% of the forest in Lake Tahoe, and the Forest Service is responsible for hiring private logging operations to trim or thin trees within the basin. This loss of private land decreased overall lumber production tremendously, and as a result, jobs and revenue were lost. In the 1960s, urbanization pressures also began to rise. This led to certain anthropogenic developments that have increased revenue for the city. However, there have been some environmental consequences. The creation of the Tahoe Keys residency area, for example, involved the removal of Lake Tahoe's largest wetland. This has directly contributed to eutrophication of the lake, which has increased the amount of algae. In an effort to curb any unnecessary growth and prevent further damage to the lake, the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency was created in 1969. The TRPA is responsible for creating environmental restrictions, determining the right to build or expand on private lands, protecting and preserving wildlife habitats, or increasing taxes if necessary. The TRPA has faced numerous backlash lawsuits from property rights owners, homeowners, and real estate agencies, arguing that it has too much power for a single government agency. Most recently, the TRPA was sued for its part in the devastating Angora Fire in 2007. The Angora Fire burned over 3,100 acres and 280 homes. The TRPA was accused of creating guidelines so strict regarding tree and underbrush removal that property owners could not create a defensible space around their homes. Although this was ultimately settled in favor of TRPA, it created quite a bit of resentment and mistrust towards the agency from business owners and residents alike. Although there are still quite a few problems that we need to address regarding current land use management, we are gradually making steps to create an economically viable and environmentally sustainable city to call home.